Well, it's Christmas. 3 days to go. Roads are carnage. Over here, there, anyway, in Tenerife. It's ridiculous. I think I've been nearly knocked off twice today already. It's just ridiculous chaos, honestly. I don't know what it is. It doesn't feel Christmassy here. Yeah, obviously it is, because people are still doing all the stuff that they want to do and they need to do to get ready for the big day. Bit of a weird title, this one. When he's 90%, the new 100%. I need to see a little bit more of an explanation to get the meaning across. When I was younger and I was doing the golf, and I'm like 13, 14, 15, you want to be a professional. You're nowhere near good enough yet, but you want to be a professional. Let me just sort this mic out. You want to be a professional. Oh, come on. But you're nowhere near good enough to be the pro that you want to be. You realise that when you're about 15, 16. It's a score out of 10 that I used to always give myself, and I was always told. It was either good or bad. There was never something in the middle. It was always, it's either good or it's bad. Can you imagine being the number 2 best golfer in the world and not being happy because you're not number 1? That was pretty much the mentality that I had. I wasn't number 2, by the way. Nowhere near. But that was the mentality that I thought, or that was the belief that I had, is you've either got to be the best or you're no good. I'm 51 next month. And it's took a long time to realise that that doesn't have to be the case. And if I'd have realised this earlier, I think my life would have been on a completely different path. And I've been thinking about it more and more over the last few days, and how to just try and express it and explain it to myself, and maybe to other people as well. There's a film, 22 years ago, there was a film out called Unbreakable. Spoiler alerts in this one, by the way, sorry. It was the start of a superhero genre film trilogy that took over the space of 20 odd years. Quentin Tarantino reckoned it was one of his all-time top 20 films. It's got to be saying something. Stars Samuel L. Jackson, stars Bruce Willis, and Samuel L. Jackson plays this character called Elijah who runs a comic book store. And his saying was, they call me Mr. Glass. And what it was that he was a human on the planet that was that fragile, he broke every bone, that the kids at school used to call him Mr. Glass. And he went out saying, well, I'll tell you what, if I'm the worst there is in that area, there must be someone who's the best. And he came across Bruce Willis, who actually becomes a superhero because he survived a train crash, he survived everything, and walks away always unscathed. So it's like a yin and yang, an opposite of, if there's going to be one that's a score of a 0, then there's going to be another that's a score of a 10. And that's pretty much how I always thought my life. Even now, when Shelley's been ill for the last 3 months, in the morning she's like, I'm ill, I'll say, what score are you out of 10? Because that'll give me an idea. If it's 2, I'll go and call an ambulance. If it's a 7, it's like, okay. If it's an 8, it's like, man up. But it doesn't really show them much sympathy, but it gives me a gauge of where people are, you know, on a scale of how to react to those people. And that's pretty much how I go about my life. So with that in mind, let's get across here. So with that in mind, I believed that if I always strive for 100%, strive for the perfect 10, then I could always gauge myself of where I'm at in stuff. So in golf, I was most probably 7.5 and an 8, which is good enough to make a living. Wasn't quite the 10. Car sales, was probably more than 9. So that was the sort of gauge that I gave. The trouble is, it's when you start using that for, and it's detrimental to you. I think that's the crux of it, when it becomes detrimental, and you've got to start changing your attitude about it. And it happened really last week when I went back to the UK, because when I went back to the UK, my youngest can't get over for Christmas. Now at first, when she couldn't get over for Christmas, I was a little bit gutted. She now works in the retail industry. She's studying at college, but she works for Next. And Next, they're not going to give you holidays over Christmas. I know that. We knew that when she took the job in June or July. And in one side, I was all right about it. I was quite happy, because I genuinely believe disappointment is a lesson in life. As much as it's detrimental to myself and detrimental to her, disappointment is a lesson in life, that you just can't have everything your own way. So I suggested, I'll come and see you. And that was the reason why I went back to the UK for 5 days, was I went back to go and see Alice. Now, I've not been back for 2.5 years. So when you go back, what you want is you want it to be perfect, don't you? You want it to be absolutely perfect. You're not been back for 2.5 years. You're going to go back and see a lot of things, do a load of different stuff, visit people. You want it to be perfect. You want it to be 100%. 2 weeks before I went back in, we were getting warned about the weather. There's a cold snap coming in, something from Norway hitting through. So all of a sudden 100% is like, it's going to be difficult. I might struggle to get down to Manchester to go and see my dad from Newcastle if the weather's going to be that bad. So all of a sudden it drops down a little bit. Turned up into Newcastle. It was cold. Got picked up by my daughters. The weather was good enough for us to go to Manchester. So straight away I'm like, hey, that brings me back up to 100% again. Turns out, my youngest, she's ill. Full of the cold, full of this flu thing that's going around, or it's going around the northeast anyway. A lot of people have got it. And she's come down with it. She feels like garbage. Not only does she feel like garbage, she's also got work shifts going on at Next that she can't get out of, being Christmas. And she's also got 5 assignments being done that needs to be done for her college work that she's now studying performing arts. So the Monday, Tuesday, I'm supposed to be seeing her. Basically, she bins me off. Short and tall of it, she bins me off. She's not well. She's got these 5 assignments she needs to do. Now, I was absolutely gutted. I've flown all that way to go and see her, and my initial instance was, I'm gutted. This is not 100% whatsoever. Not working, not happy. And I'm like, yeah, I can't really express it really. It was just absolutely devastation. It was like do you know the why me effect? Do you remember Bruce Almighty, Jim Carrey? Smite me, oh mighty smiter. I think that's what I felt like. Smite me, oh mighty smiter. And I was ridiculous. Honestly, it's ridiculous. But then on reflection, when you look back, I'm like, hang on a minute. I now need to start thinking about being proud. I've got this girl who's 18 years of age who absolutely hated school with a passion. It was never her thing. Now, you know that some people know school's either your thing or not your thing, and school was 100% not her thing at all. But then off her own back, she's decided to go into college, pick a course that she really enjoyed, which is performing arts. Even then she was like, I'm not sure if I'm doing it, but I just like it. And I said, just go and do it because you enjoy it. And then due to her dedication on this course, she's binned her dad off, who she's not seen for a while, to get these 5 pieces of coursework done that needs to be done. And I think when I was a kid, trained to be a golfer, and I had a tournament coming up, I think I've done exactly the same thing. So I'm actually really quite proud of it. So in the end, I'm like, hang on a minute, this isn't 100% that I'm after, the holiday that I was expecting. This is the 90%, let's say. But then that's good enough. So for me, that's when 90% becomes the new 100%. And that happens all the time. Everything in my life happens all the time. Now, this is what I need to know. This is what I'm asking you guys. Is it the same for you? Or, like the film Unbreakable with Mr. Glass, is there a complete opposite where somebody goes, no, it's always 100%? Every single time for me, it's 100%, no different. And if that's the case, let me know in the comments. Because that'd be really interesting to see if it is. But if you're like me and you go, no, that's what happens. Let me carry on, just give another analogy. So then from there, I was coming back from Newcastle to Tenerife. I'm bringing Megan, my eldest. She's coming over. It should be the most amazing day of her life to come over, come to Tenerife. Guess what? She gets ill. She's dying, almost. No, she's not dying, but you know what I mean? It's almost like I've had to drag a corpse through Newcastle Airport, get onto a 737, drag her across. Hey! I don't know. Drag Megan across. A quarter of the world, most probably, so she can come over here and experience living in Tenerife. Wasn't 100%, it was 90% again. Now again, I think at the moment that I did it, I said to her, I said, out of 10, how are you? And she went, I said, bearing in mind 2's an ambulance. She went, I'm about a 5. I'm like, oh Christ. Why me? But then the fact of the matter is you do it, you get through the day. We were 6 hours on a 4-hour flight. You had to defrost the wings. You had to headwind, so they weren't going very fast going across. So when you want something to be really quick and out of the way, most probably took the longest flight I've ever had in my life. But we managed it and we got her off the plane, got into the house, sent her straight to bed. Shelley didn't catch the illness again because it's going backwards and forwards, and now we got rid of it, and then so we're bringing it back into the house again. But that's not 100%. That's 90%, maybe 80%. But that to me then becomes my 100%, because I wouldn't want it any other way. I'd rather that than her not coming at all. So I don't know if I'm bringing the message across quite clearly of what I'm trying to say, but if I'd have took this philosophy all the way through my life, rather than in the beginning parts of my life, it's either 100% or nothing. Hang on a minute, 90% could also be the 100%. If I took that philosophy, then my life would have been completely different. But then the flip side on that one, this is where it gets a little bit stupid. If I hadn't have done that, I wouldn't be where I am now. Here, in Tenerife, with Shelley. And that's where I want to be. So, make of it what you will. I don't know. Stupid, isn't it? Absolutely bizarre. So I'm meeting up with a few people today, hence the reason why I've come into town. I've got to get a couple of presents left for Shelley for Christmas. Doesn't feel like Christmas, but we're going through the motions. And I'm sure we'll have a fantastic day, and I hope you guys do as well. But there's a few people over. Oh, where is he going? Go this way. Buenas. Buenas, ¿qué tal? So, tree surgeon's over. He arrived yesterday. I met him for the first time with his son and his wife. For those of you who are friends of the channel, you'll know that, who that is. Also, my nephew's grandparents are over, which I'm going to go and meet as well, either today or tomorrow. So I've got a few little chores to do. I just thought I'd get off into town. We've had a week with my daughter. She's been on the back of the scooter, left, right, centre, absolutely loving it. And it's just a day off for myself today, I think, and just see what's happening. So I'm sure you spotted where we are already in the background, the area. Do you guys stay around here? It's all right, isn't it? It's a nice walk actually. I like this one. I've enjoyed it. So thank you for listening. There might be more for Christmas, I don't know. The thing about, oh, that's what I was going to say. I nearly forgot. A lot of people are commenting on the channel, which is the idea really. That's the plan, to try and get a lot of people involved. However, I just want it to be clear the direction that the channel I want to take the channel. It's not. I don't want to take it in the direction of a mental health channel. Yes, we'll look at it. Yes, we'll talk about it. Men's health, sorry, but it's not going to be that way. Purely for the fact that I don't have the qualification in it, and it interests me. Actually, I'm gonna look. There you go. Hi. Hello. Caught her out this time. It's a mental health channel. I don't want it to do that. What I actually thought about it is, the last couple of days, is what direction this channel is going to go in and what direction I want to take it to. And I came up with the idea that, do you remember the magazine FHM? Do you remember that? I used to love that. For Him magazine. It's not, I never used to read Nuts or Loaded or whatever all those were. I don't know why, I was never really into that sort of thing. I was actually into the more, maybe a little bit more intellectual, I don't know. But FHM, thought it was a fantastic magazine. The day it started, when they stopped making it, I was gutted. I actually used to buy it on a monthly basis and look out for it and have a read of it. So I want to try and make this channel the same sort of thing. I want to try and make it a channel that's like a magazine channel that looks at everything. Just looks at a broad range spectrum of everything, rather than just keeping it on one direction. Because if you do it on one direction, it's going to be very heavy. It's going to be very, the men's health and mental health, it'll be extremely heavy. It can get people, can also get depressing, and it's not the right thing to do. So yeah, I want to look at the stuff like that in the future. But for now, I just want to keep it more like a men's magazine, but an online one. So hopefully that makes sense. So with that in mind, and with that said, as always, you know what to do. See you on the next one.